Drunk on wine.
So, found the great thing about being muted is that people didn't hear me like, oops, no, yes, wait a minute, don't go there, and then going over and turning off some poor woman singing Addicted to something.
I was like, that's a nice little add on to the end of that. I'm like, what are we doing? What's that?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm wild. Hello, guys. Welcome to Small Town World. Now my screen's all weird, though. What's happening? What is... No, I don't want that. Oh, there it goes. It's back. Hello, guys. Welcome to Small Town World. How are you guys doing? How's everything going? We're on a new day. Because we had wild things happening all over the world for us. Probably mostly me yesterday. Oh my gosh. Not to take us completely off subject, but part of why we had to switch was because I was doing a photo shoot with my father for a house party for mature adults. Is that a nice way of saying a certain age range of people? Might have been one of the craziest evenings I've been to in a while. And I still need to wash my backdrops because of the things that were being smoked while I was there.
Oh, dear.
That's the best way and the nicest way I could say it.
I think we're tracking.
Yeah, that was my evening. So I am seasoned adult. Thank you, Barrett. That too. Yeah, there was some seasoning going on. So I think a good time was had by all. Maybe not me. My throat is all types of scratchy. I had the worst headache last night coming home. My father probably thinks I'm all types of mean because I was all types of mean yesterday. It was great. So welcome to Small Town World. There was nothing micro about the dosing, Barrett. Like, they pulled out like a jar of stuff. There was nothing micro. Macro, maybe? So, welcome to Small Town World, where we talk about everything small town. We put together, help you create your small towns for fictional or otherwise, however you decide you want to do it. And I'm going to let my lovely co-host Mia introduce herself while I sip my tea, and then we can go from there.
Well, hello, everybody. Before I introduce myself, really quick funny story is I thought that I had clicked on our stream to check on it, and I clicked on the countdown timer, and I'm like, why does it keep ending? And I'm like, what is happening? So yeah, that's me. Hi, I'm Neither Vixen of Fiction all over the internet. I host productivity. You can do writing, reading, artwork, crafts, even baking, whatever you want to do. I do those on Tuesday nights. So if you want to come hang out with us and get some things done, you're more than welcome to join us. And let's see, I will be back on Twitch sometime after my birthday in October because I'm just a busy girl. So yeah, I write things, I draw things. Yeah, I have a little short story series that I've been slowly putting out as I work on my epic fantasy. So if you're interested in a small town with a little bit of magic, you can check out Ethereal Falls, the Wish series. Under NV James. So that's me. And if you're into sci fi and fantasy, hopefully, if I can get my act together, I'll have some cool stuff coming up soon.
Awesome. My face was not for you. I was trying to think if I know the town that Barrett was mentioning because I feel like I might.
Oh,
um, but yeah, I was trying to think, do I know it? I might know it
oh.
because I'm not 100% like the area that he's in. I'm not always 100% sure of exactly what all is over in that area. I've driven through it and been in it, but like what's surrounding, I'm not always positive. So yes, and you're on my channel. Oh, I definitely know Steamboat Springs. I love me some Steamboat Springs. Uh,
That sounds such a small town story
it
town.
it was a ski town, so it is pretty small. But it's so cute. I love Steamboat Springs. Steamboat Springs, I think, might be my favorite ski town. I know a lot of people love Breckenridge and definitely Vale and
So that, of course, I've heard about.
Aspen and oh, what's the one that's really top up that always freaks me? The drive kind of freaks me out a little bit. I can't think of what it is, but I don't know. Uh, oh, and my aunt likes Loveland, I think it is, but I tend to go Steamboat Springs. Yeah. No, Aspen is really pricey. Yeah, it's still affordable. Ski town is Steamboat Springs.
Gotcha.
There's
Okay,
a lot of
taking
springs in Colorado because there's Idaho Springs too, which is another one of my favorite little small towns. And there's another one. I can't think of it right now. But again, and this, like if you have a chance to drive through small towns, I mean, we're great. We try to help you out a lot, but there's just nothing compared to going and seeing the small towns and just being in there and,
mhm.
enjoying them and everything. So yeah, definitely if you get a chance, go hang out in some small towns. But I too have a couple of small town series. I have Peach Ridge and I have Bliss Haven. Those are my two favorite ones. And yeah, we have fun. We enjoy it. So by all means, come hang out. And we're moderately creating a small town through Small Town World, Heart Haven. So yeah, we're having fun over here. Um,
I'm getting to play around and do some of what part of my favorite is just kind of like world building things and
mhm.
then telling a story. It's so funny. We've been working on some world building stuff and I'm literally forming stories in my head. And I'm like, don't get too attached to this because this might not even, be a thing. But I'm literally just like, oh, what if so and so lived here and they had a rivalry with this person? And so I'm just gonna go ahead and jot them down just in case, guys. Yeah,
Well,
but
I am so glad that you were doing that because I actually I have three different things that I'm thinking of. I don't want to say anything because I have not. I'm still working on 2026.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to like. There's a couple things I'd like to do to wrap up 2025. So I don't want to, too far, but
Right.
sometimes it's the thing that you don't need to work on is the thing that all of a sudden you feel like I've got to do this now. And it's just
Tell
like,
me about it.
I don't know why my brain does that to me, but it just does.
But I am definitely in world building, world planning mode. So
Mhm.
yeah. And that's always the fun part. I mean, I like writing the stories too, because then I get to see what happens with all the things that I had in my head.
Yeah. And
Uh,
what changes from what you thought it was gonna be, and then you're like, "Whoa, those characters really took a turn. I was thought we were gonna do this,
uh,
but we're doing this instead, okay?"
um, I think I posted that one time. I was like, so annoying when characters do what it is that they want to do, but it's also really great when it's better than what you thought. Or something like that. So yeah, it's like characters have a tendency to go off on their own. They love to do different random things. It's fun.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
today we're talking all about fall events because even though it is currently it's gone down. It's 79 degrees here. Yesterday it was like 92. So even though basically it's still summer temperatures, apparently according to the calendar we're in fall. Um, so which is so it's like we're almost in October
We
It
are
feels
all,
like it should be cooler.
yeah. Well, this is my favorite time of the year, so I'm a happy camper.
Mine
I'm
too, but I'm normally like walking, like going outside in just my sweatshirt, or like a really light sweater. I've got all my cute little
Mhm.
sweaters ready to wear, and
I'm
you know.
forcing myself to wear a sweater, which is easy to do because we keep it cold in my house. But this is the sweater that's got all of the ventilation, those type of little knit. So I'm like, I can still feel like I'm wearing a sweater, but it's not very thick, so it's like perfect.
I know I'm watching all these people do like their fall home decors and pulling out their fall candles, and I'm like, I have a fall candle. I would love to pull it out and feel like it's right, but yeah, thanks.
Hmm.
Uh, so we're going to talk fall events here,
Yeah,
and how to incorporate them into your small town. So
yeah.
I am going to start us off.
All right, sure, sure.
Okay.
Let me.
One of the things that I absolutely love, and it's very trite, and I don't care, is a fall festival. I love a fall festival, a harvest festival, some type with the cookouts, or like some type of fruit, something like apple picking, peach picking,
The pumpkin picking.
cherries, blueberries,
Yes.
blackberries,
All of it.
whatever, a pie eating contest, maybe some games, like church picnic. So I love a fall festival. It's the easiest way to put in fall in your book. It's so much fun. I think maybe because I don't know if I've ever actually been to a fall festival in my life. And so therefore I watch all the Hallmark movies and they always have them and they look so fun, or I read the books and they have them. And I'm just like, let's have a fall festival.
And I am the same way. I love a fall festival. The cool thing is that I've been to many fall festivals here. I'm in the Carolinas. They're not always called fall festival. So that's first thing first. It's just a festival, carnival, something like that that's taking place in the fall and has those fall themes. There's some of the churches do the pumpkin picking. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they start that goes for like 2 months. You can pick your pumpkin all the way up to Halloween Eve. And then you can get the leftover pumpkins afterwards for whatever pumpkin pies and things that you want to do for November. But they'll have the pumpkins out where you can just come get them anytime. But then they'll do one big party they'll pick a weekend to do like a big party, and they'll have people will come out and bake things. So it could be very, very small, and then it could be huge. Like if we go closer to the capital, they'll have all kinds of like arts and crafts, and some mini rides, riding on the ponies, and just
The
the whole
hayride.
rides. A lot of the farms do the hay rides. Um, and when they have the community things, that farm will be like commissioned to go out and bring
Mm-hmm.
their animals. Same thing with the little petting zoos. They'll come out, set up.
Petting
So,
zoos,
oh my
yes.
god, I love the baby goats, the little goats. I love them so much. So yeah, so it's just so in my idea of it, you could have a fall festival that is tailored to your town, and you
Mm-hmm.
can call it the such and such town fall festival, or you can call it anything you want. It's just one that's going to take place during the fall season and have those lovely fall themes. Fall's my number one favorite time of the year.
Chili
So
cook-off, yes, Barrett, absolutely. Pumpkin spice for sure.
yes,
Hmm.
you always got to have that person that totally hates pumpkin spice. And they're all bitter about it because if they want to go to the
Hmm.
event, it's like pumpkin spice everywhere, and they're just like, ah.
That would probably be me. I want apple. I love apple more so than pumpkin. Um, and so yes, yeah. Oh my gosh. And especially like pie eating contests, there's so much you can do with that. Like you can have
Mhm,
like a rivalry, like for, like with the chili cook-off or a pie baking, like you have a rivalry between like two families or like the two older ladies in town.
mhm.
You could have like some newcomer that comes into town and everybody's like, how dare you? Uh you could have someone who, brings in a ringer from someplace else who's like top pie eating person ever, and maybe that
Mhm.
person falls for someone, else in the pie eating. There's so much you can do. Like I just they're so fun. Yeah, pageants.
Yes,
You have fall
pageant.
kings and queens,
Yeah.
dances, like so many different things. So I always feel like a fall festival is the probably the top way, which is probably why they're so in movies, in books, in TV shows. They're so there because it's
Yeah.
just the easiest way to get fall into into your town and into your story.
Yes, yes, yes. And I've had a couple of my kids have been fall a prince and princess, so not to brag on my kids, but
Look at there, y'all.
bragging on my kids a bit. So
They're
yeah,
in the
that
presence of royalty.
yes, those little pageants and contests and things like that are also very fun. They can be added in. You get your single parents, trying to get their kids maybe the kids having a bit of a rivalry there and brings
Mhm.
the parents together. There's so many story ideas that can come out of having a fall festival in your story. One of the things that I really love about having a something like this is that you can start establishing those characters in the story that will trail throughout. So if you have a baking competition, it can be a baking competition for fall. It can continue over your Christmas holiday. It can continue into the spring, and it can continue over the summer. And you get to meet some of the people
Mhm.
in your town. Maybe you've got the people who organize these events, and there can be some kerfuffle with those types of things going
Mhm.
on. That's a good way to introduce characters and have your staple characters that you're gonna see in every story. Maybe staple characters are introducing characters that you want to actually be
Mhm.
in the romance, and it kind of like helps people kind of fall in love with your town and get invested. Because you're
Mhm.
looking forward to these things, and then some of them you can do over and over again. One year it could be the football coach at the fall festival falls in love with somebody. The next year, you could do the fall festival with a photographer
Mhm.
who's photographing the fall event. The next year, you could do something where a big company comes in and they want to just change the whole thing because they're like, "Ooh, you guys can make a ton of money, so I want to come in and I'm going to shake things up," kind of situation. So it's you just change the name, but people who have become invested in your small town will be following along and just kind of looking forward to what's going to happen this year
Yep.
at the fall festival.
It's also a great way. I love a universal world building. And what I loosely use, if you guys are familiar with Casey Rose, she talks about universal world building all the time, which is where like your all of your books are somehow interconnected. And so a fall festival is a great way to bring in characters from other books or other series because maybe they heard about the festival, they come to visit, or maybe they have family that just moved there recently. Like if you just took two couples up in a book before, now they can come
Mhm.
visit, or like some single person from one of your other books comes in to like help out or different things. So that's a great way to universal world build in bringing a lot of people or tying your books a little bit more together and bringing back like some fan favorite couples or some fan favorite side characters, to bring them in. It's also a really good way, like Nia was saying, year over year to continue something. If you want to, like, let's say you're not sure about writing small town, like you kind of want to write small town, but you, hey Regina, um, but you just want to kind of dip your toe in the small town pool. Um, so you could write like all of your other stuff through the year, but like your people know August or October, whether it's two books, three books, just one book, that's when your fall festival book comes out, and they're like, "Ooh, who do we get this fall?
Mhm.
Who's coming this fall? What's going on?" And so yeah, so that's a really fun way to kind of bring kind of a tradition, if you will, into your books. And you could even, oh my gosh, because right now I'm trying to study a little bit more marketing. Um, like you could maybe do stuff that, like okay, so in my series for Peach Ridge, like the visitor center is run by Travis and Destiny. And so they're the ones who put together the fall festival. So you could have like in your newsletters and stuff like Travis and Destiny just had their first meeting about the new fall festival coming up this year. It's so exciting. Like what do you think they should add this year? Like you could do all types of things, have surveys in your newsletter group and or in your what is it? If you have like a Facebook type of group or a Discord, and have like surveys, like who do you think? Should we bring somebody back? Like Barrett saying, like bring a former queen of a festival for a second chance at love type of a something.
I
Um,
love this idea. Maybe
like you could do all kinds of different things. So yeah.
yes. I love the idea of maybe she's gone off and done her thing, and they've requested that she come back to maybe be the presenter or something like that. And so she's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, such a small town," and thinking that she left it all behind, and now she comes back and she realizes maybe she's kind of missing it. Who knows? And maybe missing the one who got away back in high school or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yep. Or you could, if you like drama, maybe she left and everybody thought she was going to be the star of something, and then now she's back
Yeah,
because things
things
haven't
didn't
worked out, and
go.
everybody's like keeps reminding her about being, the queen and how much potential she had, and it's just making things worse for her until she explodes. And of course, it's the right guy right there to like pick up the
Pick
pieces.
up the pieces.
Uh, so yeah. Someone's best friend gets a whole book. Yes, Regina,
Mhm.
that's always fun as well. Um, so yeah, you could have so many different things with the fall festival. I think that's why it's one of my favorite ways. What are one of your hope floats?
Oh, yes, I love that.
Uh, what's one of your favorites? Yeah.
I always love that someone is returning, whether it doesn't always have to be a second chance, but someone maybe is returning and, they're trying to uh help the family's situation, and they're like, okay, maybe grandma knits all of these amazing things, and she's just piling them up, and she's like, come on grandma, let's take these to the fall festival and see if we can sell them, something like, it could be, it honestly could be anything, but I love to see people returning home is one of my favorites. Even if they don't return and stay, they just, maybe the small town guy goes off to the big city with her. Maybe he's trying to get out. Who knows? But I do like a that kind of a small town return. It's one of my favorites. And a fall festival is perfect timing for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful time of the year. Things are cooling down, and then you can heat things up between the couple. So they're just a lot of fun.
You just made a really great point. Always check the weather for wherever you set your small town. And not just for fall, but just in general.
In
Um,
general,
always check the weather.
get on the weather apps. Do
'Cause
the they have records, so you can go back and
mhm,
see what is the temperature weather like. You typically, you can always do an anomaly, but and it's fun if you're going to do an anomaly. Say it's an anomaly. We're having a freaking heat wave here in a town that usually gets down to 50, the 50s, the 40s and 50s in October, and it's 70 degrees, and everybody's like, "What the? What's going on?" So you can
yeah,
have your anomaly, but just put it in there
put
that
it in the
this is
story. Yeah.
just make it part of the story. Everybody's sweating. They're like,
And
we're
then,
trying to wear our sweaters, and
well,
it's so
because
hot.
obviously, if you set your small town in California versus if you set your small town in like Maine, two different
Mhm.
temperatures. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you're setting it in Montana, I think it could already be snow.
Exactly.
It already have snow on the ground, so
And also make sure you're looking around that area, because setting it in the mountains of Colorado versus, say, like Denver, Colorado, again,
mhm.
you have two different
Yeah.
temperatures, even though it's the same state. So make sure that you are definitely checking your temperatures and making sure. And we love an anomaly, like Nia was saying. You can have a freak snowstorm or a freak
Mhm.
heat wave, whatever, and just keep it kind of like, ooh. Um, so just make sure you are putting it in to the story that this is some type of, like everybody's losing their mind. Like, I don't know what to do with this.
Mhm.
Type of a something, because yeah, that will definitely keep people on their toes. So hi, Morgan. So yeah, I just have to say this. What yes, I have my region on my weather app for the imaginary town of Eaglestown. Oh, I thought you were saying your town's app was Eaglestown.
No, Regina, you me same. I literally, my husband will be like, flip through my what? He's like, what do you have? I have places at certain places in England, West Coast places up north. He's like, why do you have these places? He's like, just trying to scroll through. I'm like, for my research, babe. If I'm writing something, because
Mhm.
I'm a seasonal. I also happen to be a seasonal writer. I tend to write in the season, which is great for having books for the next year. Not so great if you want to put something out right now, because I'm like, oh, I'm writing Christmas at Christmas. Nice. So next Christmas that'll come out. So I literally am like, what's the weather like in my imaginary town today? Go to my paired off town and like, oh, they're really cold today. Oh, they're getting some snow, and it gives me an idea of what they're going through. I got it. I have them on here. I've got probably 12 cities on my weather app. No, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
um, One of the other things that I always I think people kind of sleep on, don't miss the small holidays. Like if you're writing a blue collar type of series, Labor Day works great
Mhm.
for a fall something. If you're writing a military series, Veterans Day works great for a fall festival. I know everybody wants to just think just the fall season or Halloween, um, or my all-time favorite that no one ever wants to write because they just want to skip it and go straight to Christmas, Thanksgiving. Why does
Yes.
nobody write a Thanksgiving romance?
I love a Thanksgiving. Absolutely.
You have family dynamics, you have crazy stuff happening in towns. Like you have people either upset that Christmas trees are already up, or like decorating, like, the next day is December 24th. Like,
Mhm.
it's like, why does nobody ever want to do Thanksgiving? So don't sleep on the other additional holidays. By all means, like, you can include those and make them work for whatever it is that you're writing. And maybe your town doesn't do, like, because most towns don't, a huge something for um Labor Day, but maybe you and your people are having a barbecue or something because they're off, and someone brings like their sister, so now you've got a best friend sister romance, or somebody brings like an old friend, or
Mhm.
they invite the new guy that just moved into town. And so like there's so many different things that you could kind of play with there. Veterans Day, maybe the town is doing all of, I know here, what is it? Like you can go to every restaurant and probably eat for free all day long. I think my aunt tried to do it one year. Um, and so you could maybe have somebody who's doing that, and, they fall for maybe the waitress or something. Parades, exactly. So yeah, there's all kinds of different things. Don't sleep on the smaller holidays.
Yep. And don't sleep on making up your own thing
Hmm.
for fall season, especially if you have a town that's in a region that does a specific thing. Think about maybe I can probably put something in the fall around this. I think with we talked about it a little bit last time. Since Heart Haven, Kansas, there is a sunflower seed farm. As
Hmm.
we were building our town, and what if they're harvesting sunflowers at that time? So our fall festival could include the harvesting of sunflowers, and it could be a harvest festival. You know, it does. You know, like I said before, it doesn't have to be called fall festival. It could be the sunflower harvest festival, or something, whatever you come up with.
Yeah. Barrett has a good one that I didn't even think of, but this is great. Labor Day fundraiser for a coworker who is out for health thing. That would be
Mm-hmm.
fun for a Labor Day, especially again if you're doing something like a blue collar type of a thing, or like a teacher series or bookstore, like anything where like it's like people who like I don't know if I would do it if you're doing like a billionaire series, unless they're doing some type of fundraiser for someone and you're trying to show that they have a heart of gold, or maybe they need to reform or something like that, because they maybe did something really stupid and so they're trying to reform their image, and so then they're doing it and ends up falling for like the girl who or the guy who is like kind of what they normally would think of as beneath them or something, like maybe that. But yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Bear Sicily's like, I love all this. Like, narrator says the guy who has published nothing. But this is why we love you, Bear. So yes, and we're patiently waiting because we know your grand opus is coming.
Absolutely. I like putting a twist on these types of things as well. I
Mhm.
don't remember if it was maybe it was Gilmore Girls did something where the town did this event every year to raise money, and I think the love interest is like, well, I you're trying to raise like I don't know $2,000, and you're doing this thing here. Here's a check for $2,000, and everybody's like, you ruined it. You ruined it. Like, but you need $2,000. I've got 2,000. So you can put some fun twist
Oh.
on it. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, they're like, you missed the point. It's about the community coming together to do a thing. He's like, but it's gonna take all day.
You also can fun idea in the sense of putting twist on it is if you have say like that freak weather storm, like heat wave or something like that, or even if you have like someone who's new and they're coming into town, and maybe this town's like way of doing it because fall is like that last hurrah of weather, so everybody always thinks that like fall festivals are like sweaters and like apple cider and pumpkin spice, and no, they throw a luau.
I don't remember what episode it was, and I'm pretty sure it was Gilmore Girls because it was small town, but I can't remember. But I think it was when Laura Lee was getting back with the baby daddy, Rory's dad, I think, and he had made some money or something. But I so it was around that time. Think time frame whenever Laura Lee would have been trying to get back together, I think, with Rory's dad. Because I'm pretty sure it was him. I
Also,
just
spoiler
I'm not
alert.
oh yeah, spoiler alert. I don't remember much of the episodes, so I'm sure a lot more came along. But yeah. But
Mhm.
looking that time frame.
But also, in that sense, Nia inadvertently brought up kind of a good thing. Don't be afraid to watch like shows that are considered fall shows or small town shows, to get ideas. Like your Girls, your Heart of Dixie. I'm sure Hallmark's got something. They do a fall festival or something every year. Um, Even if it's not a small town, like even if it's something like set in New York, or um, different types of things. Watch all the like I was telling you guys earlier, like, what is that? I'm watching like all these people who are, wow, he went and found it like
You
right there.
found it.
That just took me out of whatever I was saying. I was like, wow, Barrett on it. What
Oh,
was I
God.
saying? Oh yeah, the people setting up like their fall, decor and stuff like that. Because a lot of them will tell you, oh, and I'm gonna rewatch this for like the this many times, or we're gonna do that, or whatever. He's got the title and everything.
Wow.
Barrett is wild.
So there you go.
Barrett is our TV show Esther. So yeah, don't be afraid to watch those to kind of give yourself some ideas of different things that you could do, different ideas of stuff that you can add in. Please don't copy anything,
Yeah.
word for word
No
or
need.
verbatim or anything like that. But they're a great way of just kind of thinking of like, ooh, like getting the wheels kind of turning.
Yeah. For me, that was a good one to think of ways to kind of subvert the event, and having that person that comes in and just kind of like spoils it a little bit. So there's a lot of places you could go with an idea like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone comes in and just kind of like messes things up a little bit, unintentionally sometimes, maybe intentionally, who knows.
Mm-hmm.
It's your story. You come up with whatever you want.
Trying to think what else is a good way to do fall events. Here's one that just popped into my head that I've actually never used, but now that it's popped in my head, I'm like, ooh, could I use it? It doesn't have to be about the town. It could be families. Like sometimes families have like a big birthday, or somebody's retiring, or someone is getting married, or
The anniversary of something.
anniversaries, things like that. So you could do that and tie it in. So we could. There's a pirate festival. But things like that, and you can always just center it within that family if that's what you write. Obviously, don't go out of your way. Like none of this go out of your way to kind of do. But if you're looking for ways to incorporate stuff, these are great ideas. But yeah, you could do things like that. Or schools too would have maybe like a Sadie Hawkins dance, or homecoming.
Homecoming.
Yeah. Barry said funeral.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, it is true. Birth of a child. Yes. Because he said something sad or happy. Okay, I got it. That's why I was like, just random funeral? Really? But yeah, those are good ways that you also can do it. Birth of a child. Why did I just all of a sudden have this fun idea that like, what if the town, like their founder day is like in the fall or something like that, and so every year they do something where they give away something to like the first kid born like on the day of their founding or something like that. And then you end up like bringing in like an uncle or an aunt, and maybe they fall for like the doctor, or or it's this whole thing where the town's involved. Maybe you have like the older ladies who are betting on who's gonna have the kid first. You have like 3 people who are pregnant. So yeah. He's still on the funeral thing. He's like, listen, we gather for funerals, and I just heard the most charming story of a couple meeting at a funeral.
Oh.
I love it. I mean, you can have a couple meeting at you can have a second chance at a funeral,
Yes.
All kinds of different things. So yeah, that's hilarious. You guys. Okay, so fun story time.
Family rivals at a funeral?
Yeah, you got family rivals at a funeral. That's very true. Fun family story. So recently, my father's high school had a class reunion. I'm not going to say the year because he'd probably get all kind of offended, but It was right after Hallmark does their month of Christmas in July, I think it was. So he'd been like living for all the Christmas movies. So he's getting ready to go to the Christmas or to the it was a whole weekend of events. Like they had something, a meet and greet on Friday, then they had like a banquet on Saturday, then they had like a house party picnic thing on Sunday. It was a whole weekend of stuff. And so I think he's getting ready to go to the banquet on Friday. And he's like, or was it? Yeah, it was the meet and greet on Friday. And he's like, "You got someplace to go for the weekend?" And I went, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Because I'm going to go. And you know that one girl is going to come in and I'm going to have to look at her and tell her, I've been thinking about you since senior year." And I'm so glad that you're here. And she, once I tell her, she going to want to hug on me and kiss on me and come back home
Oh my goodness.
and spend the weekend with me. And I was like, what? He's like, that's what they do in the movies. They go to the high school reunions and they tell the person how they've been thinking about them for forever, and then they get together and they're all happy. And I was like, you're watching Hallmark. Nobody's going
Yeah.
home with anybody.
Yeah.
The weekend. But in the sense of story ideas, maybe you do have a class reunion in the fall.
Yes.
Yeah, Gunsmoke was still on air, you know, like, yeah. And so, yeah, so there you go. Oh, that's so sweet, Barrett, that you think my father has game. I just
He
seen him.
probably does. He
I
probably
don't know about game. So yeah, so those are some ideas too. You can steal my father's idea. You could have you know, a high school reunion where they tell them they've been thinking about him since senior year. They want to hug on him and kiss on him and go home with them for the weekend.
Oh, he said only for the weekend. Oh, okay.
Well, that's what he said. I don't like.
That's not Hallmark. Yeah.
Because while my father may not have game, he might be a player. So yes, those are options. Let's see. What are some other fall events?
You definitely put that one on Netflix or on
Some other fall things. I know we mentioned it as part of the fall festival, but you could just have like food cook-offs or food eating competitions. Some type of bakery, something. Being inducted in the Hall of Fame. That could be something interesting, especially if you write, say, like a sports romance series or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or High School Hall of Fame or something. Those are good ideas as well. I'm trying to understand, Barrett, why your things keep coming up with question marks. But when I try to get to where it says question marks on here, it disappears and it goes into the star. I don't know what's happening.
What's happening?
I don't know. Every time Barrett's like comments come up, there's little question marks in the corner. But then when I go over to where the question mark is, it turns into where you can click it and star the comment.
Oh, there's no question marks anymore.
I know. Do you think it's because he's asking questions that it has a question mark in it?
Wait. Let me see if I can find one that.
Yeah, okay, because he just posted one and it didn't have a question, and I didn't get a question mark. Oh, okay. Shannon says the StreamYard has a new function that is trying to identify questions in the chat. Okay, thank you, Shannon.
Oh, Shannon, wow, Shannon.
Come through clutch. Because I was like, what is happening in my StreamYard? Okay.
No, Shannon just needs to have a Ask Shannon stream. Just ask Shannon.
Right? Because I was like, what is happening? Why are there little question marks? Shannon for the win, man. Shannon just needs to go to every stream. She just needs to be there so we can have Shannon question
Yeah.
Q&A time.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, so yeah. Those are some good ideas as well. Oh, because I'm gonna start going through the chat here for a second.
Okay.
Joanne, who just came in, hey Joanne. For the fall events in my novel, I'm planning to have a small town state baking competition, but the catch is that the ingredients have to have spices associated with fall. So that's a good one.
Mhm.
Making sure that you're tying it into the fall. Barrett also said saving a theater or maybe saving a historic home, which is always
Yeah,
good.
I like that.
Another thing could be some sort of thing that a local government is doing that our main character is against. And that works, not just fall. I like that idea. Oh, was that a Hallmark fall? There was something. It was a tree. Like they wanted to cut down this tree, and the female main character in it like chained herself to the tree to stop them from cutting down the tree. Don't remember
Okay.
why this tree was important. I just remember they were
I
cutting down the tree.
I feel like I feel like I may know what I may have. This feels familiar to me, but also I had a slight panic moment because Tiffany does have a story that revolves around a tree. And I'm like, I swear if they cut that tree
Oh.
down, we riot. We riot. If don't touch Holly. I'm not kidding. Don't get
Oh.
any ideas, Tiffany. We riot.
Yes, ma'am. Uh, uh, Bear was saying, I don't remember what was the good tip, but also we went to a little festival here, Pirate Festival, and there was so many ideas that came to mind. So yeah,
Ooh.
definitely go to things in your town. You'd be surprised how certain things, or even just scrolling through Facebook events, near you or anything like that, will give you some ideas of different stuff you can do. Barrett also said, right, but for the working class brings community together, lots of dynamics to play with. I think this is when I was talking about you could do stuff for like Labor Day. Um, oh, because yeah, that was when we got the Labor Day fundraiser for a coworker who is out for a health thing. Love that point. In fact, marketing wise, some small towns are probably a great way to stand out. So yes, and again, nobody does Thanksgiving, and it's such a great opportunity
It really
to get people to go home. I don't know why. Fish out of water stories are always good. And Barrett did say, good point. Fall in the mountains is for sure different than Missouri. Are we getting a taste of that, Barry? Is it fun for you yet? I'm going to check back with you a little bit later. And Regina says so many possibilities. I've got a community of billionaires in a small town environment, big property owners, and in one book, I had a main male character who discovered he was related to one of the billionaires. Always fun. Nia's over here doing fun things. I can't, y'all, but I'm going to show it. I read a book a few years ago that had a costume contest that allowed for a character to not be identified until later in the story. That's fun.
yeah. And the other thing about I just want to add before because I don't know where we are in the comments. I'm trying to look. I get lost. But when you have your fall event, the whole story does not need to take place at the event. The event
Mm-mm,
could be,
mm-mm.
the event could be the start of something. They're at the event and star-crossed lovers maybe see each other and they're like, and then the story takes off after post event or prior to, and maybe the dance at the fall festival is where they finally share that moment where they're dancing and everything comes flooding back. Or if it's more hallmarky, that's the fall festival or fall event, whatever it is the moment where they look into each other's eyes and then they kiss and then it fades to black in the end, depending on the type of story that you're writing, you know.
Absolutely. So,
Or
because I think people think,
if you're doing mystery, the thing can happen at the event in your
mhm,
small town. If you've got a small town mystery series, um, everybody's having a great time, and maybe they're doing a Halloween maze, and one of those Halloween things is not like the others. It's actually something happened, and they're like, that person stabbed in the back looks real. Oh no, it's Jed. What happened? And
Yeah.
it springboard off your mystery right there.
Yes.
So lots of
Um,
things can
that's
happen.
a
Doesn't
very
have
good point.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that everything is happening at the event.
And you could even like if you I love a good series. So because I write short, um, but a really good fall series where maybe we're starting to talk about the fall festival and plan for it in book one. And then say like in book two, like maybe something happens with the food contest. And so you have like some romance or something there. And then book three, like maybe the guy comes in with the $2,000 check and it's like, well, do we need to do the festival? But maybe he falls for like somebody else. And then in book four you finally get to like the festival. Like that's a good type of series to kind of really put together. You can make it even longer if you prefer to do 5 or 6 books, and that could take you pretty much through August to October. Type of a conversation. If you are doing short romances, if you're doing long, probably not, but like that's a great way in the sense of not everything has to happen in that one, like everybody has to be at the festival, through the whole thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show uh
Also, Barrett, I love this comment that he just made. Barrett's throwing out some ideas,
is this
and
one because I just
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I love the idea for our Heart Haven, because Heart Haven does have like sunflower patch.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's because it's harvest time, before they harvest everything down, they have a sunflower maze
Oh,
instead of, you know,
very
instead of a
nice.
pumpkin, and instead of not a pumpkin, instead of a corn maze, because those sunflowers, they get pretty darn tall.
I love it. I just want to highlight this is I love this for you, Regina, if you're happy with it. But last year I wrote shorts. This year my new romance just hit 64,777 words. Love that.
Regina is amazing.
Um, and we're back to the Eagle Town. My female main character grew up in Eagle Town, then went away to college and got a job for a while. So very nice. I'm
Mhm.
gonna assume that this is some fun ideas for a
Yeah.
festival.
So we don't have a name, but if we were working in our small town of Heart
Hard
Haven,
haven.
this, uh, so we could have you can have the things that are typical. You expect to see the pumpkin things. You expect to see the hayride, and maybe one of the family farms hosts the hayride, and the bake sale or bake competition. So these are just some ideas that I've put together for our particular fictional town story. That's
Mm-hmm.
not really a story, but we're working with it to give you some ideas how we tailor this one. Even though it's got some common things, uh, we can tailor it to fit in with Heart Haven, where Heart Haven, they really revere their baking, the baking club. We have
Mm-hmm.
the elderly book baking club or something like that. Well, I don't think we settled on what it
I
is,
don't
but
think we
it's like
settled on a name, but it
the
is
bakery book
elderly
club.
women,
Yeah,
and they are seasoned, as Barrett put them.
even
Uh,
they have a baking and book club, and
yeah.
I imagine that maybe they had a baking club and then they had a book club, but the people who kept meeting together for both said we're going to have a baking book club. So
Mm-hmm.
they kind of like niched or something like that, and so they have their goodies out there, and who's got the better cookie this year. So there's a lot of little ideas, and uh
I love this.
maybe someone's got an apple orchard, because yeah, as I do things, my brain starts already automatically thinking of stories, and so one of the bakers does candied apples, and everybody looks forward to getting their candy apples during the year. People still bob for apples after post COVID. Me is like, nah, hard pass, but hey, some
There's a
people
bunch of
still
stuff
love it.
people still do that past COVID me is like, why?
Mhm. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. But yeah, people still do these things. So there's a lot of fun things that you can tailor a fall festival. Remember, it doesn't have to be called fall festival, but you can tailor a fall event
Mm-hmm.
to fit your town.
Yes. And this actually, what Nia's put together, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we did this in Canva. Is that
Yes.
correct? Yes.
Hmm.
This is a great way to, again, in the sense of marketing your small town, in the sense of trying to get people excited for the books that are coming, in the sense of, getting ideas from other people as to what it is that you might want your readers or anything like that. This is a great way to, like start to spark that within
Hmm.
them, like sharing this in your newsletter, sharing it on socials, in your Facebook groups or in your discords, things like that, to kind of get people excited and interested and involved and invested in what it is that you have coming up or what it is that you are currently releasing. um, so yeah, maybe add in or even do an extra picture where you say like have a girl who's horseback riding or a guy who's like, holding a pumpkin, or maybe they're at a dance like with the hay or something like that. And then you know, boom, there you go. You've invested, folks.
Yep. Yep. Because I think we also talked for like Hearthaven would have a rodeo. Perhaps the
Hmm.
rodeo is also incorporated in that. There's a lot of cattle farming, so maybe they also have smoked meat competitions. We love our
We
smoked
love a
meat
grill.
here in the Carolinas. Get that barbecue going. There's so many things that you could incorporate into your fall event or events. Your town also might have more than one event. Your town
Yeah.
could be one of those towns that has a different event every weekend during the fall. Who knows?
Or,
Whatever.
ooh, that would be
Bring.
fun if
Mhm.
maybe your town competes with like a town next to it, and so everybody in town is like gearing up for this competition. You don't even have to necessarily show the other town, type of thing, but you could like have like that, rivalry, like you
Yeah,
said, the guy.
the football teams are going to play each other,
Mhm.
so it's going to be a whole big thing. And our festival is going to be better than your festival, but well, fine, you might think so, but our football team kicked your football team's butt. So just a lot of fun little rivalry things that you can include in there. And who knows,
Yeah.
maybe a teacher from the cheerleading coach from one falls in love with the football coach from the other team.
Ooh, yes, I like this. Or parent could do it as well. That would be
Mhm.
fun. So yeah, especially, ooh, that would be a fun like hidden identity, if you will. Like maybe one of them doesn't tell the other one
Oh
that they're
yeah.
from the other place or something like that. So that would be a good idea as well. So yeah, there's a lot of different things. We had a couple of other comments. Barrett's got school board issues could also be a reason for folks to gather, which is a good one.
Mhm.
And Shannon, I love this. I tried writing small town romantasy set in a older setting, but I couldn't help but to give traumatic backstories to my main characters. My characters always seem to go through, and I would put them through more before the happy ever after ending. And that's okay. Like I
Yep.
love that for you.
There's readers for that. Absolutely. Not everybody wants it sugary all the time.
Yeah. Like let's add in a little bit more drama to our fall.
Mhm.
I'm okay with like I like characters that feel real. And some like bare naked truth. The fall is hard for me. Just personally, especially like going into the holiday season. I don't know why. It's just always a really hard time of year for me. And so there's somebody out there who's like me, who's like, why is everybody so happy during the
Mhm.
holidays? Like, why is everybody so giddy? Like, why is everything going? That might need a book that they can relate to and be like, "Ah, someone understands me. I feel seen." So yes, I say go for it. Do it if it makes you happy and it sounds good and it's awesome. I feel like there's people out there that'll be like, absolutely,
Yeah.
this makes me feel seen.
They're like, look at
Um,
everything they went through and they still got a happily ever after. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yes.
yes. Um, Brad also said save a tree or save a library or save an old original school building or something. Those are always good. Again, don't
Mhm.
necessarily have to be set in the fall, but they're fun.
Yep.
Uh, uh, so yes, sometimes the short ones are harder to write. Is very true.
Yeah.
Um, it does take a different kind of headspace or mindset to kind of limit what you're trying to put in. Because I mean, all of us got into writing because we generally like all the stuff. We want to talk about how the hay looked with the pumpkins on top of it on the back of
Mhm.
like the red pickup truck with the field out in front of it and the sunflowers as far as you could see. And I
Yeah.
mean, just really go into the description and everything else. But
And you
sometimes
don't
if you're
you
writing
don't
short.
yeah, you don't have a whole paragraph to spend on her telling you or letting you feel how the sun feels on her skin. You don't have a whole paragraph to do that.
Hmm.
Sorry, you got to get it done in one line and keep it rolling.
Yeah, even Bear saying like interesting, Regina. I wouldn't have thought that, but maybe getting to the happily ever after in a shorter amount of words is harder. Sometimes it can be,
Because
especially.
you want to build that connection with the characters without it feeling rushed, a lot of people say, or feel like you're time
Uh-huh.
lapsing things to get to it.
And I think also, okay, so one of my struggles is always, I'm going to go ahead and kind of put us back here, but keep that
Mhm.
there so we can pull it back up if need be. One of my struggles, and I mean, I do write short, but I love a big cast. I want to see, I love a big family. I love lots of friends. I want to see, like the girlfriend dynamics. I want to see the boys like taking the piss out of each other, to
Mhm.
use a British term so we don't get upset the YouTube people. Like or what's the good place? Shooting the shirt.
Yeah.
I love a family dynamic where they're making fun of each other, and everything, or they're having like Sunday dinners together, or random things like that. Like I love a big cast. In short, you don't always have time to show all of that.
Yep.
Like you don't always have time for all. You have to be very kind of cherry pick. What you can show and what you can't. Same with like with the fall festival. You really, if you're going to write short, do have to be kind of very concise with what it is that you're going to show and how you're going to show it. So yeah. And Bear said, "Oh my gosh, first manuscript 147K words. I kind of love that for you, Baron."
Mhm.
And Regina's like, yes, that's exactly it. And my shorts are not real shorts. They are more like novellas, 15 to 20K. And, for me, Regina, that is short. Because my shorts are maybe somewhere, I know they are technically novella length, because they are closer to maybe a 20 to 30K. But I feel like till you hit 50, it's not a real novel. It's short.
Yeah, I would say that too. I try to keep my anything that I call short under 20K.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had goals of like 11K at one time. 10, 11, I can do that easy. No, not
I can do it, but I do have to switch my mindset in
easy.
how
Mhm.
I'm doing it. And I have something, again, keep your mouth shut, Tiffany. Never mind. But sometimes you have to remind yourself of things. Uh, um, yes, that makes sense to
Mhm.
me. I haven't written 10K stories since fan fiction. Yeah. So, like, check. I do think, and this is somebody who's more of a pantser than necessarily a planner. But I do think sometimes when you're writing short, especially if you're getting into like fall events or holiday events or specific things than just like the romance or just like the mystery or just like the family drama, if you're doing like women's fiction or something like that, um, an outline does help,
Yeah.
or at least a timeline, a something, because it does kind of keep you on track for what you can include and what you can't include. if you're trying to stay at a certain 10K, 15K kind of a frame, because it
Yeah.
can't get away from you.
And I want to speak to the fan fiction bit a little bit,
Oh,
and how that
absolutely.
ties into what we do when we're building our world. The advantage that you have when you're writing fan fiction is that the world is already built out. Anybody who's coming into your fan fiction has watched the movie, the show, whatever it is, or read the book of whatever it is that you're fan ficking.
Mhm,
So there's
mhm,
a lot of that world and places. You can just say they went to the arcade, but we've either seen the arcade and you don't. There's no description needed, especially if it's a maybe it's a arcade in a fantasy world. You don't
mhm,
have to go waste time. I don't mean to say waste, but you don't have to use up those words describing what is a fantasy arcade. You know, you don't have to say what how it's different from an arcade because fans have seen it
mhm,
or read whatever book it came out of and already know what it is. So you can save those words on how you're changing up the relationship to fanfic your people together.
the
Um,
thing that made me think of, not to interrupt you, but interrupting you, is I know you have some sci-fi stuff, and I was thinking, like, if you were doing your version of the sci-fi, there's a lot to describe. If you were doing Star Trek and you said they went to 10 forward,
yeah,
everybody,
everybody
if
would
you're
know.
Star Trekky, everybody knows
Yeah,
what 10 forward is.
but me, I've got to describe my own bar and then, say where are lights, what are the colors of things, what are the seats like. So I'll have to maybe periodically use words that kind of describe these things so that you get a picture that it's not a modern day bar as far as what we know of a modern day bar, but a futuristic bar. Kind of what is it like? So I have to use
Mhm,
words to do that. The good thing about what you do when you start building a world for your series is that anyone who gets delves into your series, you don't have to keep repeating those things. They start to know what your fall festival is like.
mhm,
So you don't have to say everything in one story that you're trying to make. Maybe you're trying to keep it at 15K, or maybe you're writing full length novels with yours, but you still you can describe things, and then maybe the next time you write it, you don't have to describe everything. That's anyone who reads any series. I do a lot of series. Things that they describe early on, they don't have to keep describing in book 2 and book 3. So that's one of the good things about building out a world where it might be you might be doing short stories, but you don't have to keep describing any. If they read book 1 or 2, they kind of know what your small town is like, so you
mhm,
can move on, maybe describe something else in book 3 and give a little attention, and in book 4 you're going to give a little of attention, but your fan readers are starting to build this world with you.
mhm,
So that's the good thing about building a world to work with, if you're not using a real place. And your readers are gonna know, oh, they have a fall festival every fall that's called the such and such. You don't have to describe that every single time to a T. You can just describe, you know, a little bit, sprinkle here and there.
yeah. Um, that's a very valid point, because also in that sense, like, if you're having the fall festival, maybe this year you focus in on the barbecue, or the pie contest, because that's where your romance is, or that's where your story is.
Mhm.
Next year you focus in on the dance, because that's where your story is, that's where your people are. um Same, but that also translates to, in the sense of, we talk about small town as a whole. um if you're going to have, say, like a diner, that's like where everybody gets together, where the gossip happens, where the locals know, or where like it's going to be continuous in all of your things. So maybe you don't meet all the staff in book 1. Maybe you talk about the jukebox in book 1, but then you talk about, like, the dartboard in book 2. Like, you can kind of build that space as you go along. It doesn't always, especially if you're writing short, it doesn't always have to happen in the first book, or even in the second book, or maybe they redesigned the spot, and you could take like 5 minutes to, or 5 seconds, like a paragraph and a half, to tell people, oh wow, look at how it's different, it's this, it's this,
Mhm.
and then you move forward. But the next time they come in, maybe in book 3, then they recognize, oh, did you add that, because that wasn't there before, and then now you're still just rebuilding,
Mhm.
and continually going on. So that's always a good way to kind of get around that word count kind of idea,
Yeah.
when you are putting together these types of things, which is why series are fun.
I love them.
And the same, like I said, I like a big cast. Okay, so maybe there's 6 people in the friend group, but they only hang out or they only talk to this one friend in this book because maybe everybody else is on vacation, or maybe they only call this person calls check up on them because they're on vacation. Like they came home for the fall festival and their friend from New York calls in to check on them, or their boss or whoever, because they're like, when are you coming back? And so you can move forward that way. So yeah. Any questions, guys? Because I feel like we've covered everything. We've kind of gone through a lot of different stuff. Any questions, any ideas, any final thoughts? While we're checking to see if anything comes up, what do you have coming up, Miss Nia?
I have coming up next Sunday, scripting the book. We'll be doing 10 Things I Hate About You and Taming of the Shrew. So I got to watch 10 Things I Hate About You. The 90s was wild. I'm like, some of these jokes, y'all, we can't say that.
Can I just tell you, to this day, one of my favorite quotes is from 10 Things I Hate About You, when the girl tells Gabrielle Union, there's a difference between like and love, because I like my Skechers shoes, but I love my Prada backpack. I don't know why.
Gabrielle says
That line.
yeah, it's funny. It just is, y'all. It just is. We're not dating ourselves too much.
Not at
But
all. Not at all.
then Gabrielle's like, what did she say? But I love my Skechers. And she goes, because you don't have a Prada bag. Like she said, you got a Prada bag, you'd understand. Prada backpack, you'd know.
It's just, oh my gosh. Oh, honey, absolutely. Regina, please go take a nap.
Oh my. Yes, nap time for Regina. Absolutely.
Oh, although, like, I too would love to take a nap. I feel you on that. But I am going pretty much right from here to the writer's room, which will be on Barrett's channel. Which, can I just tell you, Morgan gave me a heart attack this morning when she messaged and was like, whose channel is it on? I was like, oh crap, is it mine? Did I forget? And I was like, no, it's Barrett. Is it Barrett?
Like, maybe.
And I was like, oh no, do I have to rush in and put it up? Darn. So yes, but so yay. So that's where I'll be next. That's what I have coming up, is the writer's room. And then I was telling Nia, I'm taking the rest of the day off. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you. I really am.
It is in like a half an hour. Oh, it's in like a half an hour. It's in like a half an
It is
hour.
literally
So we're probably gonna wrap this up.
yes.
See, that's what happens when I don't look at my watch. So yeah, we're probably gonna wrap things up here in a second, because yes, that is where I'll be next. And guys, as always, if you have any suggestions for things that you would like us to talk about, if you have any questions about your small town or anything that you have going on, leave a comment, message either one of us. We love talking small towns. It's one of our fun things. I'm currently, like I said, in the middle of possibly creating a few different things. It's fun. I'm not getting confused at all. Oh my. Y'all see her little cup? I love this cup.
Oh, okay, yes. So this is my little shots, but this is like a shot of tea where everything is really strong. So I do have my regular tea. It's not as strong as this one.
Oh
So, but
my
this one is spiked with a little bit of cayenne and cinnamon to like,
god! Oh, it's so cute. You just
and
lifted it up, and I was like,
it's very strong. I'm actually almost done with it. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take me, but because we were talking so much, I'm like, let me finish this off.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I
Mhm.
love that.
I love my little fall shots. I don't drink espresso or anything like that because I'm not a coffee girl. So I'll just make a really strong tea. Like, whoo, okay, there's that cayenne just kicked in. Woo.
I thought about that the other day because I was really tired and I had a lot to do, and I'm not a big coffee person either. And so I actually thought about making like some Scottish breakfast tea, but just making it really strong
Mm-hmm.
and doing it like a almost like a coffee latte, but tea latte with that. And so I might still, you've maybe inspired me, Nia. I might.
Yes. Give yourself a little
And
treat.
it's fall, y'all. I have a cinnamon apple chai tea. We
Ooh, that
just
sounds
finished talking about all the
amazing.
fall stuff. I think that's what I'm doing on my. That was the other thing I wanted to say, real quick before we leave. Because I was gonna say I think I'm gonna do that for my day off, just sit around and drink my cinnamon apple chai. Don't forget to romanticize your fall writing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not fall outside, you can light a fall candle, you can drink a fall tea, you can drink a fall coffee. Pumpkin spice lattes are everywhere right now. Like you can play. Granted, there's not a lot of fall music, but I know a lot of people sometimes think the CD with Taylor Swift during COVID that has August on
Mm-hmm.
it. I never remember which one of those it
Yep.
is because there was like the two she released.
Yep.
Um,
It's so pretty.
yeah, like some people think of that as like kind of a fall, type of playlist or something like that. Or find all of the music that makes you happy for fall and put it together as a playlist. Put on like, some fall TV shows or whatever. Like you can romanticize writing fall. You can bring fall into your world, as you try to write in the fall holiday
I
season.
I just got my fall candles. My daughter was like, "Mom, there's a sale and they've got one of our favorites is pumpkin pecan waffles." So I got two different pumpkin pecan
Ooh.
waffles. One of them is back here, and then I got this one. Honestly, pumpkin pecan waffles is my absolute favorite fall scent, and they were $10.
Bath and
They
Body?
were yeah, Bath and Body. They
I
were
think
on
I did
sale.
too.
Did you get that sale? My
I
daughter was like,
didn't get
"Oh,
that tea. Y'all, you want to know which one I got?
what'd you get? What'd you get?"
They have a football season one. And at the
Oh,
time I was writing my football series,
perfect. Perfect.
jumped right in on it. So yes, but I also, for me, one of the ones that I love is the black cherry merlot for the
I have
fall.
that one. That's delicious. I have that one. It's over there. So yes, do the fall things. I've got all of
Hmm.
my fall stuff ready. I was so mad. I came back from my vacation in California, which was amazing. And some of my neighbors are it was still August. They already had no, it wasn't. It was right after Labor Day. My bad. Already had their fall stuff out. I was like,
Oh, I thought you were going to say Christmas. Okay, I can deal with the
no,
fall.
no. Oh no, we do our seasons here. Now there are
I was
some
like, please don't.
they will have their Christmas stuff up before Thanksgiving is over. I'm like, can we get every inch of fall first? And some of them will have both, so they'll start putting out their Christmas stuff, but they'll leave their fall stuff. But after Thanksgiving, boom, Christmas is on. But we do our falls here. We do our falls. So I got
The
to get
Zon,
my scarecrows and stuff out.
the Zon had a mug one year that I started to get just because it irritates me so bad. But it had like gnomes on it. It had 3 different gnomes. And it said happy, and under it was like Hallow Thankmas. Happy Hallow Thankmas.
I love I
Because it
love
was
it.
like at this point we're just mixing all 3 together.
Yeah.
And one of the gnomes had like it was like a witch, one of them was like a turkey, and then one of them was like a Santa.
That is so real. That is so real
That's why I
because
started to get it, because I was
I will
like,
put out my fall stuff. Then in October, I've got to add the Halloween into it. And as soon as Halloween's over, I got to take the Halloween stuff out, but keep the fall. You know what I mean? And
mhm.
then start in December, right after Thanksgiving. It's basically the Christmas time, so we got to switch it all up again.
Yeah,
So yeah, but
yeah, guys.
that's the first time I missed the Labor Day, and coming home and seeing that. Oh my gosh, I'm legit behind. The fall stuff is already out. Look at my neighbors. I ought to be ashamed, but I was out of town, so I'll excuse myself.
Can't even look at you, Nia.
Mm, I am for shame.
All right, guys, we are going to take off. You guys have a great Sunday. We're on Sunday today.
Sunday.
You have a great Sunday.
You're going to the writer's room next. You're going to the writer's room next. And then you're off for the rest of the day.
I'm going to watch Hallmark mystery movies. I'm very excited.
I love it. Love me some
Oh
Hallmark.
yeah, there's one of the series that I kind of like the first one. It's got 2 new ones, so I think I'm gonna watch those back to back. And then yes, Regina, I know it's Sunday. I don't know what day it is. And so yeah, so guys, we will check you next month. We do actually have a topic. I don't remember what it is, so we'll see you then.
We have all of our topics planned out. It's crazy. I don't know what it is either. Let me see if I can.
I know. I started to look it up, and I was like, I don't know what it is.
Let me look. Because since I have my thing pulled up, Let's see. Where are we at?
October. It should be right, because I see where you're at. It should be right at the top.
Oh, is this it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, create your own sports team, guys.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for that one now that I remember what it is.
Yeah. Me too. I have a sports team for Ethereal Falls. It's a college team. So they also have a high school team, but we haven't talked about the high school team yet. But so yay, that sounds fun. I like it.
All right, guys. So we will see you. Do we have a date on there?
I just see October, so I don't.
Okay, so we will see you in October, the 1st or 2nd Saturday.
Yes.
We'll be back on Saturday.
Maybe, because when am I going to be gone? Probably this. We'll let you know, because
maybe Sunday again. Okay.
I need to lock down.
So you don't miss us. And we will see you guys later. Bye.